Okay, the biggest thing solving absolute value equations that you need to know is what is the opposite of absolute value, because anytime you're moving something across the equal sign, like the -6, you'll +6. The ×3 will divide by 3. Anytime you're moving something across the equal sign, you have to do its opposite. So let's talk about what's the opposite of the absolute value. Well, first off, let's think about what we could put in x to make this true. If the absolute value of something is 3, we know that that something could be 3, or that something could be -3. So what I like to say is anytime you want to get rid of an absolute value, you can actually plus and minus the other side. Make the other side positive, make the other side negative. There's going to be two different answers. So with that said, let's try to work one of these problems. Now, anytime you're solving an equation, if there's stuff that can be moved over, move it over first. So I'm going to start out by scribbling out my -6 and going to the other side and adding 6. Since these are being multiplied, do not distribute. This is not parentheses. Do not distribute, because sometimes it's going to lead to mistakes. Since they're being multiplied, go to the other side and divide. Now, in order to get the absolute value bars to the other side, what I'm going to do is say x minus 1 is equal to plus and minus. To move absolute value, plus and minus the other side. Then I have one last step. To get a -1, I add 1. And you can put it at the end or you can put it at the beginning. Here's your two answers. Your two answers are 1 plus 3. Your second answer is 1 minus 3. There's the two answers. Let's work another one of those real fast. To get rid of -6, I add 6. To get rid of ×2, I divide by 2. To get rid of absolute value, I plus and minus. To get rid of -1, I add 1. My two answers are 1 plus 5 and 1 minus 5. Now, sometimes, what if the other side has, like, more than just a number? What if it has, like, x stuff? So step number 1, do the same thing. Anything that can be moved over, we're moving it over. So I've got 1/4 absolute value of 2x minus 6 equals, to get rid of, and I forgot what was underneath there, +1. To get rid of +1, I'm going to do -1. Only combine like terms. That'll be x minus 3. To get rid of 1/4, since 1/4 is being multiplied by this whole thing, I've got to move it over by dividing. The issue is, how in the world do you divide by fractions? If you don't remember, to divide by fractions, you flip and you multiply. So anytime you're moving multiplication over or division over, you got to multiply the whole side. So in order to get rid of 1/4, I'm going to multiply by 4. So that gives me absolute value of 2x minus 6 equals 4x minus 12. Multiply it by all of it. Next step, to get rid of absolute value, I plus and minus. Now I'm going to do this a little bit different than what I did the last ones. To get rid of absolute value, I'm going to plus the other side, meaning I'm going to leave it the same. Or I'm going to minus the other side, which means I'm going to change both of them. Now you have two different equations. Solve each of them. To get rid of 4x, I'm going to do -4x. To get rid of -6, I'm going to do +6. Gives me -2x equals -6. To get rid of -2, I divide, and that gives me x is 3. The second one, to get rid of -4x, I add 4x. To get rid of -6, I add 6. Gives me 6x is equal to 18. Divide by 6, and that gives me x value of 3. Now, most of the time you'll have two different answers to these. Now, what you do have to be cautious of, let's go down to this step right here, where I got the absolute value by itself. We have to check for what's called extraneous values. Very, very important. Extraneous values. Those are extra answers that look to be true, but when you plug it back in, you don't get the right answer. So what I need to do is, I'm just going to tell you the easy way to check this. Absolute value is always positive. All you've got to do is plug it in on the right side, plug this 3 value in. When you plug in 3, you get 4 times 3 is 12, minus 12 gives you 0. If that's an acceptable answer, meaning if it's 0 or positive, because you'll never get an absolute value that's equal to a negative. If it's an acceptable answer like 0 or a positive value, then you can throw it, or you can keep it. If it's not an acceptable answer, and I'll show you an example of this, if I have the absolute value of something equals 2x minus 3, and I get for an answer x equals 1. When I plug that in, that's 2 times 1 minus 3, which is actually -1. Absolute value will never equal a negative. In that situation, we would throw that answer out.